This meeting. The one thing I was promised when you elected me vice caucus chair is that I would never have this opportunity and we would never do this, but here I stand. So thank you for being here today. We're going to get through this meeting as quickly as possible, and we're going to have a good process, and at the end of the day we're going to have a speaker select. So thank you for being here once again. First we're going to start with the taking of the roll, and then we're going to have our pledge and a prayer.
Good morning, everyone. Before I take the roll, I'm going to ask that if anyone during this process needs to leave, if you'll go out this door over here, that's where I'm going to be stationed. Let me know that you've left, and please let me know when you come back, especially when it comes time for the voting sequence to take place. All right, let's start with the roll here. Baum. Boyd. Here. Bricken. Here. Bird. Here. Calfee. Here. Carr. Carter. Here. Cassida. Sapicki. Here. Cochran. Here. Coley. Here. Crawford. Here. Curcio. Here. Daniel. Here. Doggett is here. Dunn. Present. Eldridge. Faison. Farmer. Here. Gant. Here. Garrett. Here. Griffey. Here. Halford. Here. Hall. Here. Haston. Here. Hawk. Here. Hazelwood. Here. Helton. Here. Hicks. Here. Matthew Hill. Here. Timothy Hill. Here. Hoseclaw. Go. Holt. Present. Howell. Here. Hulsey. Here. Hurt. Here. Johnson. Here. Kiesling. Here. Kumar. Here. Lafferty. Present. Lamberth. Here. Leatherwood. Here. Littleton. Here. Lynn. Here. Marsh. Here. Moody. Here. Moon. Here. Ogles. Here. Powers. Here. Reagan. Here. Ramsey. Here. Reedy. Here. Rudd. Here. Rudder. Here. Russell. Here. Sanderson. Here. Cameron Sexton. Here. Jerry Sexton. Here. Sherrill. Here. Smith. Here. Sparks. Here. Terry. Here. Tillis. Here. Todd. Here. Travis. Here. Van Huss. Here. Vaughn. Here. Weaver. Here. White. Here. Whitson. Here. Williams. Here. Wright. Here. Zachary. Here. Thank you. Well, I can't add all of those up. I know 3 are not present.
So 70 members present?
70 members present. 70 members present. There's 73 of us.
Okay, our first order of business, Scott Spickey has asked to lead us in prayer, and after he's finished, and if anybody else would like to join in, I think there's one thing we can use plenty of, and that's prayer. So we'll start with Scott, and if anybody wants to follow after that, we'll do that.
So I'll bow your heads and join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you thanking you for your Son, Jesus Christ, for dying on the cross for us and setting us free to have the hope of eternal life and spending it with you in heaven. Lord, we ask for blessings on this body. We ask for clarity of thought and wisdom today. For our candidates, Lord, we ask that truth and wisdom to come from them of how they're going to lead not only the General Assembly, but the caucus. How they're going to move us forward in a more positive direction, Lord. Lord, we ask for wisdom to descend upon them, determination, leadership, and perseverance. Lord, we ask for a blessing on each member of you, for the commitment that they've made to the people of this great state of Tennessee. That we will always have a servant's attitude. That we will always hold each other up, and we will always stand with each other in defending this great state of Tennessee. Lord, we ask for continued blessings on our state, our citizens, the elected leaders here throughout the state, the counties, and cities, that we can all continue to make Tennessee the best place to work, live, and raise our family. We ask this humbly, Lord, at your presence. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Everybody, please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for
Thank you. Okay, there are a couple little housekeeping things. There's going to be time in between the vote counts. There's going to be plenty of time to either mingle amongst yourselves. Several members have asked to make announcements. That'll be a great time to come up here and either make an announcement, or if you have a story to tell or want to talk about your new baby being born. We should have probably 5 minutes per voting cycle, so you're welcome to come up here and use the mic at that time rather than stare at the walls. So, first order of business there's been several emails generated as well as people call. We have a motion to vote on the releasing of the numbers procedurally when we vote. And what that means is you'll actually see the numbers that each candidate has. So we're going to pass out the ballots. That's going to be our first order of business. And a simple yes or no by the membership of whether or not we want to release those numbers. William?
Ma'am. Y'all, thank you. And again, I appreciate Representative Ogles leading us in his first caucus meeting. I know we have some very heavy business to handle today, but he's going to do a fine job, and I'm glad to assist in whatever way I can. The ballot you're being handed, again, says yes or no. So this is a debatable issue, and if you would like, you can address this. But to be very, very clear, it is up to us as to whether or not to release the numbers that each candidate gets between each ballot. So this first ballot is, do you want to, yes, release the numbers after each round of voting with the assumption we'll have multiple, or no, you do not want to release the numbers at this time. Now, that doesn't preclude a motion later on, deeper into the rounds, to change your mind. So if the answer is yes right now, then the votes are brought out here and you're told the tally between each round. If the answer is no, that doesn't mean we can never change it in later rounds. This is just for the first round of voting and thereafter. Do you want to, yes, get the numbers in between each round, or no? Ogles?
Are the hands up for ballots, or is there discussion? Susan, stand up. Shh. Everybody please, attention.
If we don't release the numbers, do the candidates know how many votes they got?
No, the question was, if we do not release the numbers, will the candidates know how many votes they got? And the answer to that is no.
So just to clarify, so this vote will be for each round, but like for this vote, we're voting to say we'll release the number for each round, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my concern is releasing the vote for each round. It will change, it could change the vote for members in here. If they see if Mark White's got 27 votes and they want to go material and only got 10, I can see it changing the perception. I'm all for the final vote being released. So how would we differentiate between that?
If that's your concern, your vote you cast now will be no. And that has been brought up by many members, and it's a valid point to consider.
No, have them vote.
Everybody ready? Go ahead and start voting, please.
All right, you got the little folder thing here? Okay, I'm gonna bring this back to the accountants and let them count this while we move on to the next thing.
All right.
Because we don't have to know this right now.
Okay.
So let's just-
All right, members, this is your first opportunity to have some mic time. So anybody that wants to come up and say anything, this is a good time. Dove Hunt.
Sorry, as we're collecting votes, the question was by someone in the back, will we wait for this vote to come back before we move on to the next business? Probably not. I mean, we're going to put this into the accountants. For purposes of this vote, it's a yes, no, and we'll preserve the ballots. They'll be counting this while we move on to the next issue. Because we still have nominations, we still have speaker speeches and everything else, but we will obviously know the tally of this vote before we start voting. Is everybody comfortable with that? Okay. So has everybody passed their votes in? Okay. Take nominations from the floor at this time. So
Okay.
Nominations?
At this time, are there any more floor nominations for speaker? We've got all our candidates that have already written in. I think all know who they are, or been called multiple times. Are there any more floor nominations for speaker at this point? All right, thank you. Are there any other procedural motions at this point? Okay. We're going down the list. No procedural nominations.
All right. You want to ask about the poll watchers, that if the answer is yes, there are the following, any
Yep.
objections to the following poll watchers?
Okay. There also has been several people ask about poll watchers, and we have these names that we've called. The members have all running for speaker have all been discussed this, and Chris Todd, Patsy Hazelwood, William Lamberth, Andy Holt, John Crawford. Unless there's objections, those will be our poll watchers. So we're ready for any objections or debate.
Did I miss Andy?
Andy's on there. I said Andy.
You may miss Andy. We all miss Andy when we don't see him.
Any objection to those names? With that, those will be our poll watchers.
I think she asked real quick, what do they do? They will literally just view.
We have an accounting firm that's going to count all the ballots. Literally, they're just going to be in the room, kind of over their shoulder, subsequently watching to be sure that the process does not go awry. Scott?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For clarification to the body, since we have 3 members that are not here today, could you give us the number for the threshold for a speaker?
We have a spreadsheet for this. You want to do this? Go ahead.
36.
Okay, the number for speaker will be 36. 36 is the threshold, so we're looking at any 2/3 vote. We need 48, and that's probably all we need. 4/5 would need 57. Hopefully, we don't get to that point for anything.
All right.
Okay.
I'll go check and see if we have a...
Next order of business, we're also going to need a timekeeper without objection. John Reagan is ready, and he'll talk about that real quick.
Give me just a second before we go.
Yep.
It looked hard to find somebody that wasn't running for anything, and I wanted 3 minutes is the time limit. I'll be sitting here in the front row, for those on the side, so it'll be difficult to see, but I will raise my hand when 30 seconds is remaining. And at the end of 3 minutes, clock will go off, and probably everybody will hear it, but I will hold up my fist. The speakers will be asked at that point to finish the sentence that they're speaking and complete the presentation. If we're not looking to finish the paragraph, just the sentence. So I'll ask the speakers to be cognizant of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, well, all the speaker candidates come up. We're going to draw for the process of who's speaking, the order. This hasn't been pre-done. We're going to do this right now, and then we'll have the order.
This is the 7th that is not needed. Somebody might get it. All right, guys, I've shuffled those up. Everybody satisfied with the fact they're random? All right. Pull a number out of there, whichever one you can get a hold of. Just take one number. Just take the number, whichever one you can get a hold of. I got a 9. Oh, 6. Okay, who's number 1? Ready, hang out right here for a second. Keep hold of your number. I'll check on the vote, but he's 5. Ryan's 4. Yeah.
Ryan's 4.
I'm 5.
Where's Curtis? Go ahead.
Guys, it's just been brought to my attention, we have 3 members that are not present, one of which is Representative Dale Carr. And I think you said his father-in-law is having major surgery today, so y'all just pray for he and his family. That's where he is. And Representative Charlie Baum, I know, had indicated before, I think he had a family issue that came up as well. So that's just for 2 of our members there, but specifically Representative Carr, that's where he is. I think they're at the hospital now. Is that correct? All right. Guys, I'm going to check on that other vote, and then we'll get started.
Okay, so the order they drew: Reedy, Hill, Carter, Williams, Sexton, Johnson.
All right, guys, the result of the first vote are the yeses to reveal the numbers within each round are 45, the noes are 25. The motion carries, and so after all the speeches, after the first round of votes, I will come back out once the numbers are known and let you know what the numbers are. And the procedure would be that the bottom vote getter in each round would drop off the ballot. Each of these members will be given, whoop, hang on, you're going to do that part. 3 minutes? Nope. Okay, John's already done it, 3 minutes, I was out of the room, but there's no seconding speeches. So because the numbers are being revealed, even if, say, the numbers turn out however they are, we've talked with the speaker candidates, there is nobody that could potentially say, hey, I'm dropping out and I support such and such, not that any of these candidates would. But no seconding speeches are allowed, so they're giving their speeches now, and that would be it. I think Bill Dunn would like to be recognized.
Bill? Repeat that, please.
If the 2 bottom vote getters tie, like the vote at 10, they both drop off, it seems like that's what we have to do.
So I believe what would happen is, technically speaking, we would have to revote to determine who the bottom vote getter is. Realistically, I would probably meet with those candidates, Representative Ogles would meet with those candidates and make a decision as to whether or not one would choose to withdraw their name or not, if there is some sort of a tie. I'll tell you, I hope and pray we don't have a tie, because that is an unusual circumstance and it's not clear cut, but I think under the rules it would be a revote because you don't have a bottom vote getter.
All right. Lieutenant Reedy?
Okay, so just so you know, this apparently is, I don't know which of the media outlets, but because there is media here, I know we all realize there are, this is being live streamed on Facebook, so I didn't actually know that. It is obviously anyone can do that. We didn't prohibit that, but at the same time, just so you know, this is live, and thank you for showing me that. I actually should have mentioned that because I realized it when I walked in the other room. I could hear myself still speaking a minute or so afterwards. So, but just so you know, it is being live streamed. So, and for all of our candidates.
Are we ready? On December 16, 1985, President Reagan spoke at Fort Campbell Army Airfield to family members and friends of the victims from the 101st Airborne who died on the plane crash in Gander, Newfoundland. President Reagan stated, "Some people think of members of the military as only warriors, fierce in their martial expertise, but the men and women we mourn today were peacemakers. They were there to protect life and preserve peace, to act as a force of stability and hope and trust. Their commitment was as strong as their purpose was pure, and they were proud. They had a rendezvous with destiny and a potential they never failed to meet. Their work was a perfect expression of the best of the Judeo-Christian tradition. They were the ones of whom Christ spoke when he said, 'Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God.' While my family and I visited with the President and First Lady on this day, I realized that we all have a rendezvous with destiny. Colleagues, where will you be and what will your legacy leave when you have your rendezvous with destiny? What do you do now here matters to our families, our constituents, the state of Tennessee, and to God. The 7 basic values that I was taught in the Army were loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. I have the ambition, drive, tenacity, self-confidence, and psychological openness to continue to be a leader for God, family, and country. All Tennesseans deserve the leaders that they trust, admire, and believe in. I believe that all House members deserve a place at the table for discussion in which their constituents have elected them to do so. Our mission as Republicans at the Tennessee General Assembly is to improve the lives of Tennessee citizens through public policies that enhance economic opportunity and freedom. It is why Republicans are in the majority. Conservatives believe good public policy is based upon facts, understanding of sound economic principles, and the core principles of our free enterprise system: economic freedom, limited government, personal responsibility, individual initiative, respect for private property, and the rule of law. This must guide our next speaker. As we move forward from this day, we will show Tennessee that we can be a unified body, that we will strive to move forward from good to great. I believe in Tennessee, and I believe that Tennessee is America at its best. I respectfully ask for your vote. Thank you.
You ready? Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen of the House Republican Caucus, I have visited with many of you. I've talked with every single one of you, I believe. Many of you met in your district. It is time for the House to be the House. It is time to let the House be the House. What does that mean? It means a couple of things. Number one, it means that if I am so honored today to be your selection for Speaker of the House, no one will be questioned about their vote. Everyone has the freedom. Everyone will have the freedom to vote their district and their conscience. Number two, everyone will have a seat at the table. No matter if you're voting for me, you're not, or you just plain lied. Either one. If you didn't laugh, I'm just saying. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a fresh start, and I want to talk about that briefly. Number one, if I am the next Speaker of the House, there will be a new tone. People will be treated with fairness, with respect, and with dignity. All who want to be included will be included. Let me be very clear, because there are rumors everywhere. I know, we're shocked. But Sean Hatmaker, Cade Cothran, and Michael Lotfy will not be a part of my office if I am Speaker of the House. Fundraising will be a top priority. The Democrats have outraised us, and that is something that we have to have a renewed focus and vigor on. We have to do better with our fundraising. Ladies and gentlemen, someone asked me during all the trips to Cracker Barrel over the last couple months, they said, if you're Speaker, what does it come down to? What is it really about for you? And I thought a lot about that, and I'm here to tell you today, I have a moral urge to fairness. That is what I truly believe in my heart, and that's who I am. I think there were a lot of good things that we did this year in session, a lot of good things that we were able to accomplish, and unfortunately, no one knows about any of those good things. If I am your next Speaker, I will work tirelessly to spend more time in your office than in mine. I will spend more time in your district than here at the Capitol. It is my commitment to you that everyone will be treated with fairness. I know, ladies and gentlemen, that there are some of you in here that are not going to vote for me. In fact, some of you have even gone on television and said that. And you know what? That's okay. Because if I am the next Speaker of the House, you will still be my friend, and I will still do everything I can to make sure that you are reelected, well-funded, and that you are treated with fairness. We all have that moral urge to fairness. I would appreciate your vote.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the caucus, and it's a privilege and an honor to be here. The last time was one of the worst days of my life, and I never thought I would be standing here after that last one. I've been told that was political suicide, but there are times when you have to do what your heart tells you to do, not what your advisors or your head tells you to do. I've placed in writing the view of the speakership that I would present to each of you. I did that in writing so that you would know there are no deals being made behind closed doors, and you have in writing what will occur. I want to repeat a few of those. No chairman nor vice chairman will lose their position in my administration. Chairmen and vice chairmen will be respected for the knowledge they have. That's why they're there, to make wise decisions and lead that body correctly. I will not direct them, they will direct their committees. I want each one of you to be the most powerful political person in your district. If something needs to be done in Nashville, those constituents need to come to you, not to Nashville. You need to be known as the person there. I will be in your district to make sure that you understand and are understood as the most powerful person. When I'm there for a presentation, if you invite me to be, I will not conduct the meeting. You will conduct it. If you choose to recognize me, that'll be fine. If you don't, that's fine too, because the object is to make you the center of state government in your district and the most powerful person there. Every member will vote their conscience and their district without influence from me. No more investigations, no more conduct that leads to investigations, no more embarrassments over forcing people to make a decision that violates their conscience or the people that they're here to represent. We must avoid this. We are in a serious storm. Maybe there are larger waves coming that have been there. We need a captain of this ship who for 40 years has done exactly that. Steer people through difficult times. You need to know a little bit about me. My faith will guide the decisions. In the counsel of many, there is wisdom, and many will be included in those counsels. At your conclusion of your service, it is my goal that each of you be able to be said honestly that because you lived, because you served, your community, your people, your family, and their people, your constituents, are better off because you chose to serve the state of Tennessee. I respectfully and humbly request your vote for Speaker. Thank you.
A little bit tall. Can you hear me okay with the mic? Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here today. William, I know you've put a lot of time into this, and I know it's been very difficult, you and Brandon, and I appreciate you doing that today. You know, as we look forward to the future as it relates to who we are as a House Republican Caucus, the future has never been brighter than it is right now. We have an opportunity today to move forward out of the difficult times of where our foundations were shaken over the last several months, and we're going to have an opportunity to reset what the House of Representatives is doing. There are 4 things I wanted to talk about today, and those have to do with redoing things. For instance, we need to restore integrity. We need to rebuild the brand. We need to refill the coffers, and we need to reestablish a servant model of leadership in this state. The truth is that we need to restore integrity. The people of this great state, we need to preserve our state. We need to restore that integrity to the House and to the office of the Speaker of the House. We can only do that through this change that we're doing today, and for that, I'm very excited. We also need to rebuild the brand. Because of those foundations we're shaking, we need to rebuild the brand. This is something, as your caucus chairman years ago, for those that weren't here, that I did. I spent my own resources, I rebuilt the brand, we did new logos, we did those things. I have experience rebuilding the brand, and we need to rebuild the brand. We need to refill the coffers. As was said earlier, we're behind the 8 ball as it relates to fundraising. As your caucus chairman, years ago, I was able to fundraise at a greater rate than we'd done in a long period of time. Matter of fact, many of you are here today because of the fundraising we did together. And I believe fundraising is going to be a key component going forward with the challenging things that lie ahead for many of us in our re-elections. But most importantly, what we need to do is reestablish a servant model of leadership where your district and those that sent you here is the most important thing that we discuss. You see, because if you don't win in your district, then we don't win as a caucus. I think that a servant model of leadership requires someone to bring not their ego or their ideas, but a basin and a towel and learn how to serve others. Because if I serve you, then we in fact are serving together and we're unifying this group. I hope that we inspire each other to lead. I hope the caucus leader and the majority leader and us get together and form caucus positions so that we can lead together. And I'm confident that we can do this. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and it's with great humility that I ask for your support and your vote as we try to redo the House and reestablish our brand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here today, and this was a long road, and I think there's not anybody here who's thankful that we're finally here, at least in this room, ready to go today. What I'd like to start off and say that those people who have left employment here will not be coming back if I'm your speaker, and there may be some who are here now who will not be here when I become speaker. I want to talk to you about this campaign. People talk about you campaign and you govern how you campaign. During this campaign, I traveled to over 50 districts, met with members. The consistent message was, let's continue to lead. I can assure you, we will continue to lead. At the same time, we need to build you up. We don't need to tear each other down. This election is about getting back to the basics and continuing to lead. Vote your district, vote your conscience, have faith and trust in your chairman and the members of the committee to pass good public policy. You will never see a kill bill list coming from my office to tell any chairman what to do or not to do. Maintain order, decorum, and strength, not weakness. As we continue to lead, we must remain an independent branch of government. Understand how important our role is in providing a counterbalance to the other parts of government. As we continue to lead, let's not forget about past and current successes, like Katie Beckett, the tax cuts, the job and income growth that we've had, how we're the lowest debt state in America. Let's continue to promote what we have done and accomplished. Part of my job is to make sure that you are empowered, included, and have everything you need to be successful. Maintaining your individual freedom and liberties will also help you to be successful. Your success is Tennessee's success. I'll remain a strong voice with a steady hand who provides bold leadership and treats everyone with consistency and fairness. I believe our next speaker needs to have balance between policy and politics. It cannot be one or the other. It is a requirement. I will be there for you in your elections, primary, general. Fundraising is paramount to make sure that we can defend and protect our supermajorities, protect you and your districts, and we will stand together. We all want what is best for Tennessee, and we have done a very successful job. We have an opportunity to move forward with a team with shared vision and hope for our districts and state. I stand with you today, just like I have every single day I've been here. I want you to be successful. Leadership is empowering others to shine. As Speaker, I want to make sure we have 73 shining stars that will lead our Tri-Star. I would appreciate your vote for Speaker, and I'm humbled to be here today. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm honored again to stand before you as candidate for Speaker of the House of the great state of Tennessee. This Speaker's election is not about me, it's about we. A lot's happened since our last election. Tennessee deserves better, and this body deserves better. It's time for political games in the Speaker's office to be over. I don't play political games. Our caucus needs stable, conservative leadership, not leadership through fear and intimidation. I've served under 4 speakers. They have all had different leadership styles, but one thing that they all had in common was that they were the most productive and most effective when they listened to the members. We don't need a single Democratic vote to get things done, but what we do need is a unified caucus, and I'm the candidate that can unify this caucus. As your Speaker, I will be fair but firm when necessary, and I will have an open door policy for every member. If given the honor to serve you as Speaker, I will never embarrass you. Because at the end of the day, all of our success will be determined by the lives that we touch along the way. I respectfully ask for your vote.
All right, we're going to pass out the ballot and start the voting process. What? Any discussion on the ballot? That was a joke. Circle your choice, please.
I'll tear these 3 up. They're the 3 extra from this
Okay.
round. Here we go.
Any more ballots? Hold your ballot up if it has not been collected and shake it, please. All right, last call here. So everybody got their ballots in? Has anybody not voted, or did anybody leave the room? All right, last call. This will be the count then. All right, guys, this is good bathroom time or open mic. If anybody has an announcement, story. I heard a story. Chairman?
Members, just a humorous story I wanted to share with you. Yesterday we were in the hallway talking, and we had a discussion. Well, how many ballots you think this will take? 1, 2, 3, or 4? To which Jim Kohler replied, I hope it's 4 so I can vote for everyone that I promised to.
Hey, members, I want to tell you something fun that's coming up. September 3rd, we're going to be in Curcio's district on a duck hunt. And it's a pure joy to go to this place in Aaron, Tennessee. And if you've never seen Curcio shoot, it's like watching Davy Crockett. We were close to each other last year. And I have seen a video of our leader. I don't see him in here, but he actually took out a bird with a pistol. So we're going to hold him accountable to that and make sure he can do that on September 3rd. It's for our Sportsman Caucus. We're raising Hunters for the Hungry, and it's $250. Be a lot of food. They take you, pick you up, take you out to your spot. It's a Mac Daddy place that they've got a lot of sunflowers planted, and it's going to be a big time. And for no other reason, just come to watch Curcio shoot. It's a pure joy to watch him go at it. So, y'all come September 3rd if you want to go talk to me.
Hey, Chairman, it's actually in the 74th district, but y'all come.
It's right on the line. It's right on the line.
All the shooting takes place.
I'm sorry, I thought it was Curcio's.
Ladies and gentlemen of the caucus, this is an invitation. My office is sponsoring a tour of the Oak Ridge National Labs and the Y-12 National Security Complex on September the 27th. If you're interested, please contact my office. Probably going to start at 9 o'clock in the morning. I know for some of you in West Tennessee, that'd be a real early get up and drive, but you're welcome anyway. It's open to the staff as well. The Comptroller's office is also invited. I have coordinated with the director of the laboratory out there, Dr. Thomas Zachariah, and they're gonna show you some of the really golly gee whiz stuff that goes on that you may not be aware of. Like, for example, did you know they recently printed a house? They've printed 3 cars. In addition to having discovered a number of new things like the element tennessine. It's a really an interesting place. I encourage you to sign up. Anybody that wants to is welcome, you or your staff. You may also bring spouses and children. Children under the age of 13 will be excluded from some portions of the tour, but they will be provided a place to stay until the completion of that portion. I'll be available for questions if you have any. Oh, yes, sir.
Are you sure that lab is in your district?
The question is whether or not the lab was in my district. And no, the answer is Representative Calfee owns the lab. I just have the front gate to it. Thank you.
All right, I have the results from round one of voting. I think we have all of our poll watchers here. I will announce these in descending order of the number of votes that they received. Cameron Sexton received 18 votes. Matthew Hill received 16 votes. Curtis Johnson received 16 votes. Mike Carter received 11 votes. Ryan Williams received 8, and Jay Reedy received 1. We will now be passing out the ballots for round two. And again, Representative Reedy will be on the ballot physically, but will not be eligible to vote for. So at this particular round, again, he will be present on the vote. That's just a logistical thing. We didn't know who to take off of each ballot beforehand, but he will not be eligible to proceed to the next round. We have Representative Coley back in. Representative Doggett, how many members present in the room? 70 members present? Yes, sir. All right. I am so sorry. I've been asked to re-announce these, and I apologize if I went too quickly. Again, in descending order, Representative Cameron Sexton, 18 votes. Representative Matthew Hill, 16 votes. Representative Curtis Johnson, 16 votes. Representative Mike Carter, 11 votes. Representative Ryan Williams, 8 votes. And Representative Jay Reedy, 1 vote. Those are the votes for round one. And I'm going to, at this time, ask our poll watchers to go ahead and distribute, and our Assistant Caucus Chairman to distribute the next round of ballots. As you fill out your ballots, I would like to remind the members that the reason there are no additional speeches at this time, our bylaws say that there are no seconding speeches, and it indicates that each speaker candidate has one opportunity to make a speech. So that's why you're not hearing from anyone else at this time. Guys, I'm sorry. I'll also remind members, please circle your vote. There's one in every crowd, but someone in the last ballot counting checked their vote. I would ask that you circle it. It says at the top of the page. I'm sorry to be picky, but please circle the vote. Guys, last chance. Do I have all ballots? Does anybody still have a ballot? Thank you. All right, guys, excuse me. All right, y'all, if you can take your seats for just a moment. If I can have our poll watchers up here. Representative Hazelwood has stepped out for just a moment. All right. We're still missing one or two. Oh, all right. I'm going to announce the numbers at this time for the second round of voting. Representative Curtis Johnson received 19 votes. Representative Cameron Sexton received 17 votes. Representative Matthew Hill received 16 votes. Representative Mike Carter and Representative Ryan Williams have tied. So you can thank Representative Dunn for predicting that. Both gentlemen have chosen to take themselves out of contention voluntarily. I would like to note at this juncture that neither gentleman would have been forced to do so. We would have merely voted until there was no longer a tie. That is my opinion. And so thank you for that round of applause. I think it is a very gentlemanly thing to do that both of them voluntarily chose to take themselves out due to a tie. So at this juncture, we're going to wait for Representative Hazelwood to come back, and then we will pass out the ballots for the next round of voting. The only individuals that will be eligible for a vote in this round, again, you will have 6 names on your ballot, but the only individuals eligible in this round, and I'm going to say these numbers again, Curtis Johnson received 19 votes. Cameron Sexton received 17 votes, and Matthew Hill received 16. Representatives Johnson, Sexton, and Hill will be the only valid candidates, and please do circle your choice, and I thank everyone for actually circling it in the last round. We have Representative Hazelwood back now. I'm sorry, we have a procedural question?
What was the vote count at the tie?
We did vote to disclose it. Just out of respect for the two gentlemen, I was not going to say. Does everyone wish for me to, or can I just tell you privately? Okay, I'll just tell you in a second. You can do the math on what it is.
I don't care. I mean, the people have the right to know it. They want to know,
Let me. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Those gentlemen tied. They have withdrawn themselves from contention, and I've announced the top 3. Is that okay? All right. Thank you. We're going to pass out the ballots. Let me take 4 out of this. One for myself. Thank you. No, it's fine. I don't mind.
He's always calling me. How to give him a wrist?
Guys, do we have any ballots out? This may or may not be our last round of voting. We're down to 3 candidates. Are there any additional ballots out? Thank y'all.
Give me the, yeah. Is that better?
All right, members, if you can take your seats, I have the results of round 3 of voting. We have Representative Cameron Sexton at 27, Representative Curtis Johnson at 23, and Representative Matthew Hill at 20. At this juncture, we will vote again. The only 2 remaining individuals on your ballot will be Representative Cameron Sexton, again at 27, and Representative Curtis Johnson at 23. And Representative Matthew Hill will no longer be a candidate that you could circle at this juncture with 20 votes. All right, any procedural questions? Nope. Members, I'll be passing out what will be the final round of voting, absent a tie. I know, I was told not to say it, but absent that, this will be the final round of voting. So, please take your ballots and vote. You have the envelope, Chris? All right, I'll get it. Here, just put those up. Give me one. I need one myself. And I'm gonna go get the folder.
Any more ballots? Hold your ballot up if you still got one.
Is that all ballots in? Is everybody's ballot? We're going to hold the final round, so any other ballots? All right, guys. Thankfully, there is not a tie, so as soon as I get our poll watchers up here, and I would like our leadership team and your leadership team, those that are in elected leadership, to join us on the stage, please. If there's any that are not currently up here. I'm looking at you, Ron Gant and Tillis. All right. At this time, I would like to announce and congratulate Representative Cameron Sexton on receiving 41 votes. Let me be the first to say what many of us will be saying many, many times over, but Speaker Sexton, congratulations, and to all of those candidates that ran, this proves what a strong caucus we have, because I am proud of every single one of you. Going through something like this is tough, but you've done it well, and we have an extraordinarily good amount of candidates to put forward that are all an important part of this caucus. So, Speaker Sexton, the podium is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, leadership. Thank you, everybody here today. It has been a long day. I know it has. I appreciate everybody's patience, and I look forward to working with every single one of you to continue what we've been doing and achieving great things. Thank you to all the candidates who run. Thank you, Matthew, Mike, Ryan, Curtis, Jay, myself. As we go through this, I'd just like to say thank you, Godspeed to you getting home, and let's look forward to moving forward and continuing in that direction. Thank you all very much.
Amen. Guys, don't be leaving yet. I have one other thing to announce. Many of you right now are just realizing that it's not completely over as far as folks calling you on a regular basis over the next few weeks. We have a special session on August the 23rd in which all of us will be voting for Representative Cameron Sexton, our Speaker-select, as the next Speaker of the House. However, we will also be having a caucus meeting. I'm announcing it now, and we'll send all of you an email on August the 22nd at 4 p.m. August the 22nd at 4 p.m. for the specific purpose of electing a new caucus chairman. At the beginning of that meeting, current caucus chairman Cameron Sexton will be resigning his position, and we will have an election to fill that role and handle any other business that we need to handle prior to the special session. And I think Representative Todd has a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn. Second.
Okay, all in favor, voice vote, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you. Good job, Brandon.
Yes, sir.
Very good job today. Good job.